Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the International Webinar Series. Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the International Webinar Series on Holistic Health, Well-being and Sustainable Development 2022, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 75 years of independence, and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Arts, Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue to today's sessions. Today we have with us Krishna Manasa. She is a pharmacist from Hyderabad. She has pursued pharmacy, bachelor's and master's, and she has certification in pharmacovigilance, and she is a research classical singer, and she regularly donates, blood, and she is a regular blood donor. We have to appreciate, saving lives is very crucial, especially in this pandemic and post-pandemic period. And she is also philomath, wordоphile. That means a person who loves learning and also traveling. These are, little bit complex words to understand, but yeah. And keenly interested in research-oriented and multidisciplinary topics. So she loves a lot of studying and learning and doing research. And she has presented in webinars and conferences and participated in various webinars, conference, workshops, and training programs. And got certificates in various as part of academics and extracurricular activities. So we invite you, Manasa, for today's session on medicinal plants. You can unmute yourself, start your video and presentation.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, over to you for your session.
Sir, is it visible?
Yes, ma'am. Please continue.
Yeah. Very good evening to one and all. Today, my topic is regarding medicinal plants. Medicinal plants can be defined as the plants that possesses therapeutic properties or exert beneficial pharmacological effect on the human body. Many of thousands of plants species growing throughout the world have a medicinal uses containing active constituents that have a direct action on the body. Plants have been used for medicinal purposes long before the prehistoric period. So let me cover this kind of approaches today. Laxatives, cardiotonics, carminatives, astringent, antihypertensive, antitussive, antirheumatics, anti-tumor, anti-leprotics, anti-diabetics, diuretics, anti-dysentery, antiseptic and disinfectants, anti-malarials, vitamins and enzymes. Laxatives, having a tendency to loosen or relax, specifically producing bowel movements and relieving constipation. We have four plants, namely aloe vera, rhubarb, isabgulla, senna. Let me clear you with some terminology here. Anthraquinone glycosides have an aglycone group, a derivative of anthraquinones, and usually occur as a O glycosides, occur as a C glycosides. Here O and C is nothing but our rotations. And the chemical structure of anthraquinone is based on anthracene, formed by three aromatic rings contain two phenyl rings. The first plant, aloe vera, which is commonly seen everywhere in parks and in surroundings, wherever we go. This is, we can see, this is the aloe vera. And coming to the synonyms, aloe, Girtikumari, Musabar. Biological source. It is the dried juice of the leaves of Aloe barbadensis. People may think these are roots, if not stems, but no, these are leaves. Here, let me clear you little background. Actually, in chemistry department, structures and all we named based on the IUPAC nomenclature. But under the category of pharmacognosy, any plant named on International Code of Botanical Nomenclature. It is the formal way and scientific naming of plants. Basically, scientific name and biological names are same. Scientific name is nothing but Latin name and botanical name is nothing but binomial. Literally a two-part name. Like see, aloe vera, aloe barbadensis is nothing but our botanical name. And family Liliaceae, and geographical source, Eastern and Southern Africa. It is also cultivated in Europe and many part of India. We can see it is green to yellowish brown and odorless, bitter in taste, 4.5 or 5 in diameter. Chemical constituents. It contains a major source of anthraquinone glycoside, nothing but secondary metabolites. And the main active chemical constituent is aloin. It is also contains barbolin, isobarbolin, beta barbolin, and aloamodine and resins. Iso and beta nothing but rotations. Chemical test. We got the sample, but we should know whether it is really aloe or not. What is the chemical test? Bromine test we have to do. Take the aloe powder and add 10 ml of water. Boil, filter, we'll get the filtrate. To that, add freshly prepared bromine solution, not the old stock, freshly prepared bromine solution. So it gives you yellow PPT. So we can declare this is aloe vera. Uses as a purgative, carnative, cosmetic preparations, as we all know for wrinkles, black tans and all, and also used in treatment of pain and itching, wounds, cuts, many things. And second one, rhubarb. After seeing this, we may think it looks like some dried rhizome, but it is not rhizome. This is rhubarb. Synonyms: rheum, and Ravindra. Biological source. It is consists of dried rhizome of Rheum emodi, family Polyginaceae. Geographical source China, Tibet. It is also obtained from Kashmir, Sikkim in India, and other European countries. We can see in between this pink fractures are there, the color, and sharp odor, bitter astringent taste. It is also contains anthraquinone glycoside. It is also contains rein, chrysophenol, aloimodine, and rhinotic acid. Chemical. First of all, this rhubarb should be added to the fermented milk biological.
Manasa, your voice is breaking, ma'am.
Sir,
Yes, ma'am. Now it's
sir,
clear.
can I share the screen again?
Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead. You are muted, ma. Unmute yourself. Manasa, you are muted, ma. Unmute yourself.
So now I can.
Please continue.
Yeah. Yeah. So these are largely cultivated in Gujarat, Punjab, and Rajasthan, grown successfully near Pune. And we can see this is a pinkish gray to brown in color, non-odor, and mucilaginous in taste. And size 10 to 35 mm in length and 1 to 1.75 mm in width. When compared to rest of the drugs and all, these chemical constituents are little different. It is consists of pentosanes and aldobionic acid. The product of hydrolysis are xylose, arabinose, galactonuric acid, and ramonazone. Fixed oil and protein are other important constituent of isabgol seeds. How to do the test? Take some isabgol seeds and add ruthenium to that. We'll see slightly the variation from red, which gives to pink color. So it is presence of isabgol seeds. Used as a laxative, it is used in the preparation of tablets and as stabilizer in the ice cream industries, and also used for rheumatic pain, joint pain. But very minute concentrations we're supposed to take. If we take more than 5 we can see order pungent and taste bitter in taste. Size 7 to 8 mm and length of the leaf is 25 to 60 mm and shape leaf lanceolate. Chemical constituents usually senna or of anthraquinone glycosides, which is or crystalline senocytes A and senocyte B, which is present less than 2.5% rene, and aloamodin is present in senna. Chemical test. Take some powder leaves of senna. We have to dry it first and we have to grind and take the powder leaves of senna and boiled with dilute sulfuric acid, H2SO4, not with the concentrated one, filtered and cooled. So the filtrate what we get is extracted with the chloroform or benzene C6H6 and combination with dilute ammonia is added to it. So we can see the ammonical layer which becomes pink to red due to the presence of anthraquinone derivatives used as a purgative. Second category, cardiotonics are the drugs used to increase the efficiency and improve the contraction of the heart muscle, which leads to improved blood flow to all tissues of the body. We have two plants, digitalis leaf and arjuna. This is how the digitalis leaf will be, and very long, and it gives loads of flowers, very short leaves. Texture will be very good. So digitalis leaf is otherwise called as foxglove leaf. And biological source, dried leaves of digitalis purpurea, family Scorpulariaceae. Dark grayish color, slight odor, bitter taste, and shape will be ovate. This is how the shape will be ovate, lanceolate, and base tapering, decurrent. Apex means the edge of the leaf is nothing but apex, obtuse or rounded. Chemical constituents: phenylphenoid glycosides, cardiac glycosides, steroidal saponins, and pregnant glycosides constitute the main group of secondary metabolites of the genus Digitalis. Let me clear here some terminology. Primary metabolites are nothing but growth phase. They meant for the growth phase. They maintain the physiological functions of the body and are central metabolites present in many organisms or cells like carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, and vitamins. Secondary metabolites are nothing but specialized metabolites, toxins, not toxins, toxins, secondary products or natural products or organic compounds produced by any life form. Example, bacteria, fungi, animals, or plants. Example, alkalides, toxins, gibberellins, antibiotics, and biopolymers. Most probably, this secondary metabolites like alkaloids and glycosides, everyone comes under heterogeneous group of compounds. But these auxins and gibberellins are only meant for plant growth hormones. Next, coming to the chemical tests, digitalis and digoxin are the chemical constituents of the digitalis leaf. So they can be detected under plasma and some environmental samples using liquid chromatography. Usually, the chromatography is nothing but a separation technique. We have two phases, stationary phase and mobile phase. Stationary phase is the fixed one and mobile phase is the movable one. For it is meant for the separation of molecules. Manual process is liquid chromatography, but basically chromatography we have 12 variations of methods. So we prefer liquid chromatography for digitalis leaf. Uses cardiotonic. Next, Arjuna. Arjuna bark is nothing but our cinnamon, dalchina. This is what Arjuna. Arjuna bark, Arjuna, cinnamon, dalchina, all are same. So biological source, it consists stem bark of plant, Terminalla arjuna, family, Comborataceae, and color, as all we know, this is outer layer is grayish brown and inner layer is reddish brown. Order, orderless, astringent in taste, 15 into 10 centimeter size. It consists of mainly usual compounds like flavonoids will be there, tannins will be there, phenols will be there, phytosterols will be there, saponins will be there, alkaloids will be there. Basically, phytochemical screening is nothing but identification tests we can do. Directly we have this test. So test of the bark confirms the presence of alkaloids, carbohydrates, saponins, glycosides, phenolic compounds, tannins, proteins, and amino acids, and flavonoids. It is used as a cardiotonic. Next category, astringent, causing the contraction of skin cells and other body tissues. We have two in this, black catechu, pale catechu. This is how the black catechu will be. This is like gummy part and very sticky in nature. Synonyms, katta, khair. It consists of dried aqueous extract prepared from hardwood of Acacia catechu. Leguminaceae family. Usually photo is like this, but if we see in reality, it is light brown in color to red. Very astringent, 2.5 to 5 centimeter in size. The main chemical constituents of black catechu are flavonoids. Here, the test is matchstick test. You're supposed to take a matchstick. It is dipped in aqueous plant extract. We have to dry near burner only and moisten with concentrated hydrochloric acid, H2SO4. But be very careful because it highly affects a lot on warming. Near flame, the matchstick would turns pink, light pink or red due to the formation of chloroglycinol. Used as an astringent, cooling and digesting agent, and also used in diarrhea and in preparation of lozenges. Lozenges are nothing but small medicinal tablets. Actually, they are rhombus or diamond in shape, taken for the sore throats, as all we know, strepsils and all like that. Second one, pale ketachu. This is not bread. Usually the drug is like that. So after cutting the barks and all, we can mold it into any form of shape. Synonyms: Gambier, ketachu. Biological source. It is a dried aqueous extract of the leaves and young shoots of Ancaria gambier. Family Rubiaceae. It We can see this is yellow to reddish brown, odorless, highly astringent, and the drug mainly contains catechin compounds and also gambier fluorescein and a fluorescent substance. This is the uh, special kind of bark or special kind of plant which gives a fluorescence thing. So the chemical of pale ketachu is the part of gambier fluorescent, which gives the fluorescence. The test of vanillin test will be there. So hydrochloric test is a drug which shows red or pink color, but in the combination of vanillin alcohol only. The ratio of dilute HCl is 1 is to 10 is to 10. Gambier fluorescent present in pale ketachu gives the fluorescence. It gives only fluorescence. So used as a astringent and mainly used in dyeing we can use, and in tanning industries, and also protection for the fishing nets. Antihypertensive, to lower high blood pressure. This seems like this a dried rhizome. People may think that it is a dried rhizome or paspu kommula antar, yellow horns, but this is not that one. People may pronounce this Rolfia root or Rafflesia root. This is actually Rafflesia, meant for antihypertensive. Synonyms: Serpentina root, Chudchan, Sarpagandh. We can see how the dried rhizome of this practice. Yeah. Coming to the fracture, it is very short and irregular in shape, but the chemical constituents of Rolfia are alkaloids, mainly secondary metabolites and a heterogeneous group of compounds. It consists of 40 types of alkaloids in it, about 0.7 to 2.4%. Directly, we can do hydrolysis test. Uses antihypertensive agent and anxiety condition, used as a sedative, but only in lower concentration. If it is high, leads to death also. It stimulates the central of peripheral nervous system. Next category, antitussives, used to prevent or relieve a cough. We have two in this, Vasaka and Tolu balsam. This is how the Vasaka plant will be. Usually the flowers are white in color and the leaves may resemble like this Mangifera indica, nothing but mavidakula antar kada adi. But this plants, the leaves and all in starting they may seems like flowers only, but later on they develop. It takes loads of time to develop. So Vasaka. Synonyms: Adathoda vasica, vasaika. It consists of dried fresh leaves of the plant Adathoda vasica. Acanthaceae family, light green, characteristic in order, bitter taste, 12 to 20 centimeter long and 2 to 5 to 6 centimeter broad. It consists of alkaloids, tannins, flavonoids, terpenes, sugar, and glycosides as chemical constituents. Direct phytochemical tests we can do and used as an expectorant, bronchodilators, and antitussives. The next plant is Tolu balsam. This is how it looks like. The brown color part and all is nothing but Tolu balsam. Synonyms: balsam of Tolu, balsamum tolutanum. Tolu balsam is obtained by incision on the stem of Myroxylon balsam. Lin is nothing but family Leguminosae. Color brownish yellow to brown we can see, and it odor aromatic, taste aromatic. This may contains a fairly large amount of benzyl and cinnamyl esters of benzoic and cinnamic acid. We have two chemical tests here. 90% of alcoholic solution. People may think that we can do general alcoholic solution. We never get the result at all. We have to take only 90% of alcoholic solution and add FeCO3 solution, which gives green color. Next, Tolu balsam plus 5 ml of water as a solvent. Solute is always lower concentrations. Solvent is always higher concentrations. Solute plus solvent is our solution. So boil it, filter, and add KMnO4, potassium permanganate, and heat. We'll get that order of benzaldehyde. That is how we can detect the Tolu balsam, used as an expectorant, antiseptic, and flavoring agent. Next, anti-rheumatics. Nowadays, people are literally suffering from this joint pains, rheumatoid arthritis, this and all there. So refers to agents used in the therapy of inflammatory arthritis, predominantly rheumatoid arthritis. We have two. Google colsystem. This is how Google looks like. A little yellow, little red, little brown. We can see this jellies and all kids will eat. It seems like this, but very sticky and greasy in nature. So synonyms: gum Google, salai gogli. Google is a gum resin obtained from the plants by incision of the bark of Commiphora mucul. Burseraceae family, brown to pale yellow or dull green, aromatic odor, bitter in taste. It contains only terpenoids, diterpenoids, triterpenoids, and lower concentrations of steroids. We can do direct phytochemical tests. Uses anti-rheumatic, astringent, anti-inflammatory, anti-spasmodic. And next, colsystem. This is how the colsystem seeds will be. It never resembles to sunflower seeds or flax seeds. This is an entirely unique shape. So meadow saffron seeds, Ottoman crocus are the synonyms, and it consists of the dried ripe seeds of colsystem luteum, Liliaceae family, light brown in color, odorless, bitter in taste. Alkaloids and ephedrine are the chemical constituents. You have to take the drug. Add 60 to 70% of H2SO4 or HCl. Gives yellow color due to the presence of colsystem. Uses anti-rheumatic, analgesic, treatment of gout. Anti-tumor, next category. A type of anti-cancer that blocks cell growth by interfering with DNA. DNA is nothing but deoxyribose nucleic acid, which refers to the genetics category. So the genetic materials in cell. This is called vinca plant. We can see this plant anywhere else in surroundings, parks and all. This is a regular plant. Of course, nowadays horticulture people are doing many techniques. Now we have violet color, pink color, red color, white color. Many colors are coming now. The seeds and all we get in online. Synonyms: sadhufuli, barmasi, periwinkle. It is dried whole plant of Catranthus roseus. Family Apocynaceae, green leaves, pink color, red flower. Now we are getting white also. And faint odor, bitter in taste, 3.5 to 5 centimeter width, 4 to 7 centimeter length. Simple leaf with glossy appearance, acute apex, asymmetrical base. Vinca contains indole alkaloids in larger amount, mainly vincristin and vinblastin are the active compounds. So, if we take vanillin or HCl reagent, it gives pink color with vinblastin and orange color, orange yellowish color with vincristin. Uses anti-neoplastic, anti-cancer agent in the treatment of acute leukemia in children. Next, anti-diabetics, used to treat or helping to prevent diabetes. We have two plants, Pterocarpus, Gymnea sylvestra. This is how the Pterocarpus plant will be. It looks like Senkum flowers antaro. It's usually very good for God Shiva, but this is not that kind of plant. This is entirely different. This is Pterocarpus. Synonyms: Bijasal, Indian quino tree, Malabar quino. It consists of dried juice obtained by making vertical incisions to the stem bark of the plant Pterocarpus marsupium. Leguminaceae family, ruby red in color, odorless, astringent. Mostly tannins and isoflavonoids are the chemical constituents. We have three chemical tests here. We have to take the drug solution plus add ferrous sulfate, which gives green color. So presence of this plant. Drug solution plus potassium hydroxide gives violet color. Drug solution plus mineral acid, which is actually very rare. We won't get it in labs. But if it is present, then we'll get that precipitate. Used as an anti-diabetic, powerful astringent, also in the treatment of diarrhea. Next plant, Gymnema sylvestra. This is how the plant will be. And synonyms: Gurmar Mirangsingi. It consists of dry leaf of Gymnea sylvestra. Asclepidaceae family, green in color, aromatic and faint in odor, tasteless. Yeah. Diuretics help the body get rid of extra fluid and salt. They are used to treat high blood pressure, edema, extra fluid in the tissues, and other conditions. We have two, Gokru and Punarnava. This is how the Gokru will be. Sometimes it seems like soya beans, but no. But the minute or tender age of datura, and sometimes it resembles like porcupine. Gokru. Synonyms: Chota Gokru, Caltrops fruit. It consists of dried, fully ripened fruit of the Tribulus territories. Zygophyllaceae family. Fruits are grayish to gray, odorless, tasteless, 1 to 1.5 centimeter. It contains alkaloids, stable oil, aromatic oil, resins, glycosides, carbohydrates, saponins, and triterpenoids as its chemical constituents. We can do direct phytochemical test. It is used as a diuretic and also for pains, burning, and during urination. Next, this is Punarnava. This is like creeper plant. Now it is having pink flowers, but horticulture people are doing nowadays white color and blue color also. Synonyms: hogweed, Beshakapuri, Raktapunarnava. It consists of dried and fresh herb, Borhavia diffusa, Nicetegaceae family. Leaves: upper surface green and lower surface whitish. As all we know, because of this photosynthesis process, green plants prepare food by using carbon dioxide and leaving in the presence of sunlight is called photosynthesis. The upper surface of the leaf exposed to the sunlight. Because of that reason, it is very dark in color. Backside, it is very light in color. How the beetle lives, we can see very dark on the upper side, very light on the lower side. So upper part pink, stem color green with purple. Odorless, bitter in taste, 25 to 30 centimeter long. It contains beta sitosterol, alpha 2 sitosterol, palmitic acid, archidic acid, urosolic acid, and retinoids. Direct phytochemical test we can do, used as a diuretic, expert, expectorant, and in the treatment of jaundice and also of abdominal pains. Anti-dysenterics, tending to relieve or prevent dysentery. This is what Ipecacuanha. It seems like sweet potato or the dried rhizome. No, appearance is that. Synonyms: Brazilian Ipecacuanha root. It consists of dried roots and rhizome of Cephalus ipecacuanha. Rubiaceae family, dark brick red to dark in color, faint in odor, bitter in taste, 150 mm in length, and isoquinoline alkaloids are the chemical constituents. Direct phytochemical test we can do, used as an expectorant, emetic in high dose. Next, antiseptics and disinfectants. Both widely used to control infections. They kill microorganisms such as bacteria, viruses, and fungi using chemicals called biocides. Disinfectants are used to kill germs on non living surfaces, but antiseptics kill microorganisms on our skin. So we have two in this, benzoin and myrrh. This is how the benzoin will be. Usually at starting, it will be lightish brown color, but if it exposed to environment without any proper package for a long time, it turns to complete black. Synonyms: Luban, Sumatra benzoin. Benzoin is an balsamic resin obtained from Styrax benzoin, Striaceae family, and grayish brown grain color, aromatic and slightly acrid in taste. Benzoic and cinnamic acid and triterpenoids acids. We have to take the benzoin powder, add potassium permanganate, warm it. We'll get the smell of benzaldehyde. This is only smelling particle, kind of herb. So used as an antiseptic, expectorant, and stimulant. This is how the myrrh will be. Of course, both the benzoin and myrrh and also Google, for appearance, the three will resemble like same only. But based on the chemical tests or phytochemical tests only, we can identify what is what. Synonyms: Gammir, Rasagandha ball. It is an aloe gum resin obtained from Comifera molmol. Woodceraceae family, externally reddish brown, internally brown. Aromatic in odor, bitter, aromatic, and acrid taste. It contains a 10% of volatile oil, 60% of gum, 25 to 40% of resin. When it is titrated with water, coming to the titration purpose, which actually comes under pharmaceutical analysis department, we have a burette ranging from 0 to 100 ml. They'll give a solvent in that. We have to fill. After that, we have to take the burette and put it in the Yeah. Used as an antiseptic, expectorant, astringent, and widely used in mouthwashes, but only lower concentrations. If not, will get mouth ulcers. Whenever we go to the kitchen and all, will we get bored what we supposed to eat, what we have to cook? But we do have n number of medicinal things in our kitchen. Let us see. Let our kitchen help you become a part of a part-time doctor yourself. You don't need to look any further than your very own kitchen. For example, castor oil, it's laxative used in the preparation of paints, polish, printing ink. Coriander, we can use it as a topping agent for many food ingredients, used as a carminative. Fennel, used as a carminative, aromatic, and respiratory stimulant. Of course, we can do loads. We can use it as a mouth freshener also. Ajwain, used as a carminative, flavoring agent. Cardamom, carminative, aromatic, and flavoring agent. Ginger, used as a carminative, flavoring agent, and ginger oil is used in the preparation of mouthwashes. Usually, this ginger and clove are we used a lot in COVID-19 pandemic situations because it provides us loads of immunity and resistance. Black pepper, spice, aromatic. Not only that, the lower concentration of black pepper with the combination of salt and lukewarm water, which also helpful for the weight reduction, but very minute concentrations. If not, it hit you like anything. As a soda, used as a carminative, expectorant, flavoring agent. Nutmeg, spicy, aromatic. Cinnamon, dalchin, used as a carminative, spice, flavoring agent. Of course, the cinnamon also we can use for weight loss, but very minute concentrations. If not, adverse effects are very high. Clove, used as a carminative, antiseptic, dental analgesic, flavoring agent. As all we know, turmeric is antibacterial, antifungal, antiseptic, whatnot, many more. Vitamins, amla, richest source of vitamin C, and lemon also used as an antispasmodic, used to treat jaundice, liver tonic, antibacterial, antifungal. Shark liver oil and also cod liver oil, richest source of vitamin A, uses in burn and sunburn ointments. Enzymes, naturally we are getting enzymes. Papaya, medicinally, it is used an anti-inflammatory agent used in the leather industry for removing hair or skins. Yeast, manufacturing in alcohol, wine, beers, making bread is a good source of protein and also as a source of vitamin B. Salt, good for people with the low blood pressure required for the absorption of glucose and also helps to maintain the body's electrolytes balance and also required for proper nerve stimulation. Not only that, the lower concentrations of salt and combination of baking soda is usually helps to wash our fresh vegetables and fruits also. Of course, nowadays we got neem water, this water, but this is a very good thing. We couldn't even see the dirt and microorganism things on the fruits and vegetables, so we can wash it off like this. And lemon, very rich source in vitamin C, used to treat cups, and very good against heartburns and other stomach ailments, and helpful in maintaining the electrolyte balance of the body, and very good for gastro reflux. And it has an antioxidants which help prevent heart diseases and cancer. Honey, very good for skin, cleanser, tonic, antioxidant properties, and also green tea also having antioxidant properties we can use for skin as well as a facial. and also for the weight loss. But we have to take only 3 to 5 cups per day, not more than that, which may help prevent many chronic diseases, used to treat cuts and burns, and also used as a remedy for sore throat, and it boosts immunity. Olive oil, as all we know, it's a very good laxative properties and also helps to avoid constipation. It helps prevent heart diseases because of its high content of mono unsaturated fatty acids. It lowers the incidence of gallstones. Milk, good source of calcium, protein, phosphorus, prevent osteoporosis. And prunes are kind of thing which we can eat. Usually we get it in Patanjali shops and all, which it is very useful to prevent the osteoporosis and rheumatoid arthritis also. Prunes are very good for that and improve the body immune system. Sometimes cold raw milk is used for curing acidity. And not only that, raw milk we can also use for skin, for glowing and all, but very lower concentrations we have to use because that infections and all will be there. So be careful. Baking soda, useful in treating acne and as a face and skin cleaner, and curing cracked heels, and good for cleaning teeth. Ginger, reducing nausea and vomiting when used with black salt. Also help in curing migraines and for stomach alignments such as indigestion, in also helpful in curing cough. The benefits of herbal medicines. Dramatic advances and advantages of conventional medicine or biomedicine, as it is also known. It is clear that herbal medicine has much to offer. Today, herbal medicines are coming back into prominence because of the efficacy of conventional medicines. Using herbs wisely. As all we know, most commonly used herbs are extremely safe to use, but still, some plants can produce side effects also. Like all medicines, herbal remedies must be treated with respect. It is essential to take care of your certain plants only under the guidance of a well trained practitioner to avoid adverse consequences. Not only herbs, we have alternative system of medicines also, like traditional Chinese medicine system, Indian system of medicine, Siddha, Unani, homeopathy, aromathy, and recently batch flower remedies. It was actually um, renowned physician is in London by Dr. Batch in 1930. He just worked on emotional balance, and also Tibetan system of medicine. These are kinds of approaches, kinds of drugs. Not only that, now we are having therapeutic drugs and chemical drugs. Whatever the drug it may be, it has some side effects. So before you take any drug, kindly think twice and thrice. Potent plant chemicals. As all we know, every herbal medicine has its own ability to affect the body's systems, which depends on the chemical constituents present in it. But earlier, scientists were started preliminary things like extracting and isolating chemicals from plants. Usually, this extracting and isolating chemicals are very good in olden days, because in traditional methods are excellent. Now we got everything is adulterated. Now we got many manual procedures, and we got in under quality control formulation techniques, we got HPLC, high pressure liquid chromatography, HPTLC, high pressure liquid chromatography, gas chromatography, ion exchange chromatography. Many more techniques got came into era nowadays. But the old and traditional methods are excellent at that time. Coming to the extraction process, we have multiple approaches. Like we have maceration process. Like we have to take the sample. Based on the sample, we have to dig it in a solvent, suitable solvent they'll give. Mostly 80% of the herbs contains methanol. If not, water is a universal common solvent. We have to mix the both in a beaker, and as a lid, Wattman paper we have to take based on the seed size. We have to close it and kept it aside for 7 days. So we'll get n number of active molecules from this kind of approach. But now we are getting out of 1,000, hardly 2 or 3. That also we are getting via this molecular docking using Schrodinger software. Out of n multiples, we are getting 3 or 4 chemical or active constituents. So it's been the literature of this traditional methods and Dhanvantri book, many books we have this and all. It's been went to some other places. Now we don't have this. We have to depend on some European codex or British codex or United States of pharmacopoeia. Of course, we do have many standards, but our literature is entirely on China by our Bauddhi Dharma Garu. It went there. So, especially this core groups and all, we are struggling a lot. So, especially in the 18th century, since from that time we have grown accustomed to looking at herbs and their effects in the terms of active constituents they contain, value of whole plants. Yes, sometimes yeah, value of whole plants. So it is ultimately about the use and actions of whole plants, medicines that are literally God or God is given rather than developed in a laboratory. These are fundamental truths about herbal medicine. Plants as a food and medicines. Nowadays, we are eating what unwanted food. There is no nutrition at all. Pizza, burger, milkshakes. Is there any nutrition in this? Everything has been adulterated. Everything has been spoiled. So, as always known in general, usual the human body is much better suited to treatment with herbal remedies than with isolated chemical medicines. We have evolved side by side with the plants over thousands of years, and our digestive system and physiology as a whole are good to digesting the utilizing plant based foods, which often have a medicinal value as well as providing sustenance. We have known this quality control and quality assurance, and this World Health Organization and Food and Drug Administrations are the main standards for us. If not, we would have get adulterated drugs also, placebo drugs and dummy drugs also. So we have to give them huge respect. So as all we know, the quality control is vital role for herbal medicine. Yeah, before we go anywhere else, we can see in the centers and all this drug is meant for this purpose, this drug meant this for this purpose, marketing strategy and all. But before buying dried herbs, kindly do check with this preliminary things. What we're supposed to check before you buy any dried herbs should not be stored in clear jars or indirect sunlight, as it causes oxidation process which affects their efficacy. Obviously, we have to check not only the drug, any kind of format of drug. If not, whatever the packing it may be, whether it is a glass or a plastic or blister packing or general packing, any packing, the drug will go and interact with other molecules of that packing material. So obviously the shelf life of the product will goes off. There is no need of giving a manufacturing date and expiry date. So we have to be very cautious regarding buying any kind of any format of drug. Good quality aromatic herbs should have a distinct scent and taste. We have to go and check the taste first and scent, whether this we are getting smell. Yeah, means it is working. If not, it's already adulterated or spoiled. And check for signs of infestation due to pure drying techniques or adulteration. This can sometimes be recognized by the presence of dried grass or other non-medicinal material in the jar. Because of this reasons only, we have to use this gloves, headgear, head mask, top to bottom we have to cover because of this quality control and quality assurance purposes. Adulteration should not be takes place. Out of 100 we should get 90, 98, 99% we should get the result. Because of this reasons we have to be very careful in formulation departments and techniques. So kindly please do check before taking any format of drug. And before buying herbal products, usually we'll go to Patanjali stores or Elchuri stores and we'll go and we'll get all the things. But kindly do check with this preliminary things. Name all the constituents of the product. The chemical ingredients are literally being placed in the packing, is there or not? We have to check, because most of the companies nowadays are skipping most of the ingredients here they are releasing into the market. We are thinking that it is safe. No, not at all. Because we are seeing now many things like sugar free. Obviously, if you see in the labeling, sugar will be 30.0 grams over there. I don't know how it will be non-sugar and sugar free and ammonia free. Don't go for it. Kindly do check the products before you buy, whether it is food or any kind of product, and state the recommended daily dosage, how to use, when to use. This is mandatory. And state the weight of each capsule or tablet or volume of the bottle. We have to ask. This is a preliminary point before you take or any kind of drug. If before you consume, how much capacity you have to take, because the toxicity levels will be there, so we have to be very cautious. For coming to the general drugs like this chemical drugs and all, 1,000 grams per day, we should not cross more than that. If we are getting more pain, we are taking Neorelax MR, Dolo 650 2 times, 3 times a day. Obviously, some other day it gives loads of side effects. Think a lot. List the weight of each constituent of a capsule, tablet, extra, and list the ratio of herb in the product. What are the proportions are there? 1:1, 1:1, 1:2, or 1:3? Kindly please do check. And the role of medicinal plants on national economy. Since ancient times, mankind all over the world mainly depended on plant kingdom to meet all their needs of medicines, for elevating alignments, search for eternal health, longevity, and to seek remedy to relieve pain and discomfort, fragrance, favors, and foods. It had prompted the early man to explore his immediate natural surrounding and try many plant, animal products, mineral, and develop a variety of therapeutic agents. In fact, nowadays we are switching to instant results. I am getting pain, I'm having work, so I have to take the drug. Within 2 hours, it should go off. But on the other hand, we are literally increasing our what chemical levels in our body. I'm not saying herbal drugs or Ayurveda drugs or allopathy drugs are 100% safe. Go and take it. No, every drug has its unique pattern, unique toxicity levels, unique side effects, adverse effects. But still, don't consume a lot of chemical drugs. Kindly please do take care of your health and try to switch for the traditional methods of medicines. So in the long run, you'll have a very good and healthy life. Medicinal plants still plays an important role in emerging and developing countries of Asia, both in preventive and curative treatments, despite advances in modern Western medicine. They also generate income of the people of many Asian countries who earn their livelihood from selling collected materials from the forest or by cultivating on their farms. whenever I see the word forest, I remember this Pushpa movie, Red Sandalwood and all. Really, it's a good marketing strategy. How much percentage, lakhs and lakhs of money we are getting on it. It's mainly used for medicinal purposes and also many wonderful purposes. And cultivating, coming to the cultivating, it is not at all a simple task for even agriculture people will get to know this complications and all, because we have to think about the soil, what kind of soil we have to need for the plant, whether it is a black soil, red soil, general soil, or mud soil. And again, the soil potential, we have to see how much yield it will give. pH of the soil we have to check, temperature, climatic conditions, humidity conditions, water conditions. Many more factors will influence on this cultivation area like anything. And this is not a 1 day or 2 day. Even single rice also will get, it takes 90 days to come to our hands. So it takes loads of time. So kindly don't waste your food. Try to utilize the food in a very good, appropriate manner. Thus, the medicinal plants constituent a very important national resource. One of the oldest repositories of human knowledge, as we all know, we have four Vedas. In this Rig Veda, 4500 to 4600 BC, mentioned the use of medicinal plants for the treatment of one or other diseases. In the long struggle to overcome the powerful forces of nature, the human beings have always turned to plants. There are reports available about the local communities in the Asian, African, and Latin African countries having a long history of dependence on traditional remedies, largely based on plants for immediate access to relatively safe, cost effective, and culturally acceptable solutions to primary health care. Now, the World Health Organization estimated that 80% of the population of developing countries relies on traditional medicines, mostly plant drugs for their primary healthcare needs. Even the modern pharmacopoeia, we have many pharmacopoeias now, more than 20 pharmacopoeias, still contains at least 25% drugs derived from plants and many others, which are semi-synthetic, built on prototype compounds, isolated from plants. Medicinal plants are the major components of all indigenous or alternative systems of medicines. For example, there are common elements in Ayurveda, homeopathy, naturopathy, Oriental, and Native American Indian medicine. Demand for herbal drugs is increasing throughout the world due to growing recognition of natural plant-based products being non-toxic, having no side effects, easily available at affordable prices, and sometimes the only source of health care available to the poor. Usually, this government officials and Anganwadis and all, they do supply this iron tablets to rural areas. That is a good thing actually. Hence, medicinal plant sector has traditionally occupied an important position in the socio, cultural, spiritual, economic values of rural and tribal lives of both developing and developed countries. Millions of rural households are using medicinal plants in self-help mode. About 90% of medicinal plants used by the industries are collected from the wild source, while over 800 species are used by industries. Not more than 20 species of plants are under the commercial cultivation. Hence, more than 70% plant collection involve destructive harvesting because of the use of parts like root, bark, stem, wood, sometimes whole plant. It's based on the herb. This process is a definitive threat to the genetic stock and diversity of medicinal plant resources, and ultimately to the economy of the country if the biodiversity is not sustainably used. The other main source of medicinal plants is from cultivation. So, the cultivated material is definitely more appropriate for use in the production of drugs. Indeed, standardization, whether for pure products, extracts or crude drugs is critical and becomes easier. Hence, higher cost for cultivated material and cultivation are often done under contract. International trade in medicinal plants, both within South Asian countries and East Asia, Europe, and North America, is growing in economic importance. For example, Nepal is earning an estimated US dollar 8.6 million annually from the export of medicinal plants. Thus, the medicinal plants and other forest products influence local, national, and international economics. There is a widespread belief that green drugs are healthier than synthetic products. Recent reports have witnessed an upsurge in the popularity of herbal medicines. In most industrialized countries, use of medicinal plants have increased dramatically in the last decade. There has been a rising trend in Ayurvedic herbal products, an area where India expertise dates back centuries. But it is not only in the last decade that the country has truly seen in the commercialization of the herbal concept. Herbal has now become full-fledged way of composing of both in beauty care and healthcare products as well as herbal over-the-counter drugs. These over-the-counter drugs are nothing but non-prescription medicines. Like we use this toothpaste, mouthwash, air drops, first aid creams, ointments, water removers, like that. So they have gained a substantial ground. Currently, according to the industry estimate, total pharmaceutical market is around rupees 5,000 crore. The total herbal market share is around 1,200 crore, of which the OTC market constitutes around rupees 400 crore. The importance and value of traditional and indigenous herbal medicine was the subject of campaign of the World Health Organization. Its effort in the 1970s led an appeal to all member countries to do their utmost to preserve their national heritage in the form of ethnomedicine and ethnopharmacology, and to bring back the use of known and tested medicinal plants and derivatives into primary healthcare in rural areas. As alternatives, when modern medicines are not available. I don't think so, but it takes really loads of time to get back, switch to the traditional things. In India, plants have been traditionally used for human and veterinary healthcare, and also in the food and textile industry. 90% of the local food resources known to indigenous people were undocumented to nutritional literature, trade, cosmetics, and perfumes. In fact, we can naturally prepare our lip balms, this and all from natural things. We can prepare loads and loads of things from natural drugs. So, but India has a special position in area of herbal medicines, since it is one of the few countries which are capable of cultivating most of the important plants used both in modern and traditional systems of India. This is because India has vast area with a wide variation in climate, soil, altitude, latitude, and rich flora. The herbal drug market itself is growing at a rate of about 20% and 30% annually, with individual company registering different growth rates. The healthy growth rate of this market can also be attributed to the government policy of encouraging the manufacturers of purely herbal products. This coupled with absence of any pricing guidelines, unlike drug price control or DPCO pricing guidelines for ethical drugs, has resulted in this segment being perceived as a highly lucrative alternative source of revenue. And the new patent policy, GATT, nothing but General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, which came into effective by the year 2005, has encouraged the herbal market. While the domestic market, about US dollar 1 billion of Ayurvedic medicine, is opening up to the herbal phenomenon. The export market is also showing promise. Many pharmaceutical companies are targeting export as the primary source in the coming years. World trade in plant medicines is of billions of dollars. In 1994, China exported US dollar 5 billion of plant drugs. Germany US dollar 105 millions of plant drugs. The number of medicinal plants trade to is astonishing. Now Germany export market is about 600 crores and is expected to expand to 20,000 crores in the next decade. The present export volume of crude drugs from India stands at 36,200 tons, valued around US dollar 24 millions. China and India are the two great producers of medicinal plants, having more than 40% of global diversity. In developing countries, plants are the main source of alternative medicine. According to the World Health Organization, as many as 80% of the world's people rely on traditional medicines for their primary health care. Most types of which use remedies from plants. The use of traditional medicine in developing countries is increasing because population is increasing. Government wants to encourage indigenous forms of medicine rather than to rely on imported drugs, and there are strong moves to revive traditional cultures. Being easy access and cost effectiveness ultimately affect the national economy. For example, traditional medicine is an important part of African culture. It varies with cultural group and region. The Western pharmaceuticals are inaccessible, especially to rural-based population. Therefore, 80% of Africans rely on plant-based medicine only. 70 to 90% of the population in South Africa, Zambia, Nigeria, Ethiopia, Mozambique, and Democratic Republic of Congo, among others, relies on traditional medicine for their health care. In South Africa, national level, 20,000 tons of medicinal plant materials are traded, corresponding to a value of about US dollar 60 millions. In Zambia, trade in traditional medicine is worth over US dollar 43 millions per annum. Traditional systems of medicines are also predominant medical systems in practice in Malvian rural areas. Medicinal plants based medicine also has a significant role in most Latin American countries. About 70 to 80% of the Latin American population relies on traditional medicines for their healthcare needs. For example, 80% of the Ukrainians rely on medicinal plants or products derived from the plants. There is a lack of access to modern drugs in a significant part of Latin America. In India, annual turnover of herbal industry were estimated around US dollar 250 million in 1995. According to the Chemix report, export value of Ayurvedic and Unani medicine was about US dollar 41.6 million during 1999 to 2000. The major OTC products contribute around US dollar 30.5 million. Economic growth potential in natural health and cosmetic products. As we all know, medicinal plants have plays a major great role in food supplements for health care as well as in personal care of the mankind alongside the therapeutically active substances. Thus, medicinal plants based nutraceutical and cosmeceutical industry is a promising sector with enormous economic growth potential. The United States leads the market, followed by countries of Western Europe and Japan. In 1999, the global health food products market was US dollar 6.8 billion, almost thrice the value in 1987. The global demand for herbal extract in food products grew to US dollar 3 billion in 1999. From US dollar 0.76 million in 1997. So these are reports which actually from the Asia, Pacific, Latin America, Africa, and Middle East are set to provide the fastest growth for food-based, especially nutraceutical industry. And the United States, Japan, and major European countries are the largest global producers and consumers of nutraceuticals, owing to the higher level of consumer income. Globally, the market for plant-based cosmeceuticals has been estimated to US dollar 22 billions. And the fastest growing sector in this market is anti-aging products. The developed countries like the United States, Japan, Australia, and Europe are the most dominant market for cosmetics. And China, Malaysia, Russia, Latin America have a strong potential for long-term growth. How the future economic growth? Throughout the world, about 35,000 to 70,000 species of plants have been used at one time or another for medicinal nutraceuticals and cosmeceuticals purposes. In India, about 1,000 plant species. In Nepal, about 700 species. About 700 species in peninsular Malaysia and its neighboring islands, and in Chinese, about 9,905 plant materials are used, but only a relatively very small number of them are used in any significant volume. So there is a lot of scope in future for new plant-based drugs that are still to be introduced. And the economic significance of these plant-based pharmaceuticals is considerable, which is based on the following two aspects. So the value of the current plant-based pharmaceuticals and the potential of the plant-based pharmaceuticals, which are yet to be introduced. The value of these drugs are described both in terms of their market value and their economic value. Market value is a subset of economic value, which includes all benefits to society. Market value of the drug is attributable to the plant raw materials, development, manufacturing cost, as well as the incorporation of research cost for the failed efforts, and above all, the existence of consumer surplus. Economic value represents all the social benefits of particular type of product, including marketing value. Economic value can be viewed as an expression of the total benefit of a product. The relationship between the economic value of a medicinal plant species and the market price of the drugs derived from it is not a direct one. However, it is true that the market prices are minimum valuations, assuming that demand for this drug is inelastic and very appropriate to value and very essential input as its own cost plants and economic rent obtained from it, plus the associated consumer surplus. The contributions and the sustainable development to economy of the people. Herbal medicines will be the leading products in pharmaceutical businesses in the future. The band and source of many varieties and uniqueness of medicinal plants for herbal medicines open opportunity for the development of competitive pharmaceutical products to supply the domestic and export market. This is what my topic is regarding medicinal plants, and these are my references. Loads of YouTube channels, multiple apps, and encyclopedia of herbal book. And I thank Dr. Ravindra sir for giving me this wonderful opportunity to make a presentation on this medicinal plants. I told sir I can't do, but sir encouraged me, support me all the time to complete this task. It's been a really wonderful and memorable day today. And I thank all the participants for active listening as of now. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mansi, for the wonderful session. Congratulations. Participants, if you have any queries, you can unmute and ask. If there are no further queries, then we shall conclude the session. Kindly fill up the feedback form for this session. Dear friends, quickly fill up the feedback form. Dear friends, quickly fill up the feedback form. Feedback form has been raised in the form of polls. It is mandatory for the attendance and certificate. Quickly fill up the feedback form. Dear friends, quickly fill up the feedback form. Okay, so as we also running out of time. So what we'll do, we'll just quickly look at various commemorations today. We'll not get into detail. Just today is National Homemaker Day, who keeps our households running. It can be male or a female, whoever it is. And it's National Men Make Dinner Day. Especially men are also nowadays taking equal responsibility along with women. So there is no gender specific roles like earlier we used to have, that only men has to do these things or only women has to do these things. Now, because of the demand of the hour and the need of the hour, both men and women are equally taking part in all walks of life and all household course of life, including household course. They are sharing responsibilities, in fact. So today we have seen even in history also, like Nalabima and many who are famous cooks, and more than women. In fact, not being so biased, but we have seen in the history that more than a woman, we can see a lot of names, especially when it comes to cooking. Many got their name, credit, and reputation, and they are very good at cooking and other things. So both the genders, irrespective, of course, though when it comes to cooking in general, we refer to feminine gender aspect, but men are equally, or maybe they are more credited to be the experts in cooking and making delicious dishes. So in this context, we have National Men Make Dinner Day, where men also contribute and something nice, make up a dinner. These all are, already as mentioned, Western context. And today is also National Sandwich Day. Again, this is also mostly from Western, but nowadays quite popular with these, multinational brands like McDonald's and Subway, Pizza, Domino's, a lot of these outlets now spread everywhere. And it has been like culture, pizza, burger, sandwich and everywhere, and which unfortunately turns out to be a junk food and lot of creating a lot of problems. And today is also Click Day, and you see a lot of people taking snaps of themselves, selfies or photos. This is a day to those funny earworms or clickworms. And today is also a charity relevant day. Give someone $1 day. $1 may seem small, but it could have significant value to the person who is receiving it. It doesn't mean that we have to give only $1, but it's just like that was the smallest unit. Even we have cent also, which is like, a pice for a rupee. In their context, it is dollar. Otherwise, cent, like we have pice, they have cents. 100 cents make $1. Similarly, here 100 pice make a rupee. Similarly, so there in that, because this is all in Western context. So today is a day where you can donate as little as 1 rupee or $1. or as many or as much as you can. And today is also International Stout Day. Is the most that is a kind of beverage, but again this is also useless. Because alcohol, these social evils, modern social evils, which I call as drinking, smoking, and unsolicited sex, and all these things are widely rampant in the society, which are widely, unfortunately, accepted as social norms, which has no benefit at all, which is spoiling the society and creating a lot of problems in the society. Unfortunately, these social evils also crept into the society, and thanks to the media, especially, which has glorified this and, had changed the opinions of the public to make them acceptable and no guilt or shame or no fear or anything. It could remove all sorts of things, and it became a social norm today. This is one bad thing that media also do. Media is also double-edged sword, as they can be a very good media, or they can take the very good side of educating people, informing people, and making help or helping people take right decisions. But at the other side, these vested people, businesses are always there. Good and bad are both sides of a coin. Like every person, every organization, if they are into business, they always have this both. Even if at a personal level also, not everyone can be completely detached from this materialistic things. Rarely we can find. But most of them, at least at a personal level also, we can see maintaining everyone is a brand of themselves. It's unique, and everyone keeps struggling for establishing themselves as a brand and reputation. So we can see so many things that are happening to promote themselves or their organizations or their products or services. There's nothing wrong, in fact. Everyone does it. But the kind of what we can say is more of exploitative or aggressive kind of thing or abusive kind of thing is what which makes out to be more glorified rather than being a norm. And today is also National Accessory Day. All those additional accessories like whatever you wear, shoes, bags, ties, or bracelets, or earrings, or whatever it may be. It can be fashionable things, or even at times additional clothing, and all those things. And today is also National Housewife Day, and as we already seen, National Homemaker. Homemaker can be anyone, male or female. But housewife is especially dedicated to women, invaluable women who dedicate so much to their families. Otherwise, it's a very difficult task, especially things like womanhood, motherhood. Now today, entire world is suffering because, women are also getting away from their responsibilities from motherhood and womanhood. And they are also competing a rat race with the men. And in this process, men are competing to become equal with women, or women are trying to compete with the men, but in this process they are losing their womanhood and motherhood. Because of that, families are, uh, getting nuclear families, broken families, and children are being suffered because neither the male counterpart is taking that responsibility. You cannot give away. So that is one reason nowadays, both either male or female is also not getting married. Nowadays, people are not coming forward for getting married is because of that responsibility of taking, parenthood or familyhood, whatever we can call. Because earlier it was like, male was generally used to be a breadwinner, and he was taking care of family, the financial part, and women were taking the family and managing these family members and children, especially. Leave about other things, but children, especially teaching, training children in a right manner is only possible in the early childhood. And nowadays we see hardly, because of the policy also at certain times, there is a very limited leave period that is available, and hardly people take any leave. And we see just before delivery or just before after delivery, they quickly go back to their services, and they use, these crutches or play schools or whatever the things available to accommodate their children, infants, these toddlers. So they are lacking this, what is right and what is wrong. And, that close bonding is lacking between and children and their parents. And definitely motherhood or womanhood is gifted and to women. And no matter what is done or what has to be done, men cannot replace it. That's why women and men can never be equal. Maybe in certain tasks they can be equal in terms of performing, but definitely woman is ahead. And by foregoing like things like womanhood and motherhood, that will be a great disadvantage or disaster for the society community, which nowadays we are seeing, because men is also not taking responsibility for that. And definitely he is not so good in these things like parenting and taking care at an exceptional level, where few are very good, but in general. And so that is creating so many issues in the families. Now there is a very hard adjustment or adaptation unless and until women are very good in managing things. Otherwise, we see broken families, diverse families, widowed families, or otherwise lot of things. We used to say, there is a saying, you just look at your wife or mother, or especially a girl child in that family, and you can tell a lot about that family. How a woman or a girl conducts himself or herself, that itself conveys a lot. And also there is one more saying, you can just tell how a woman or a girl conducts herself in private or public, or in a house or in home or outside. That with that we can say how their family is, how their home is. Like that there used to be sayings, commonly said things like, she is so well organized, multitasker, and she takes care of all family members, especially, she performs multiple roles. and take care of entire thing, which, men may not be good in all those things. So all these aspects, nowadays in the what we are lacking is, in the Western context, what this modern or Western feminism models, they totally ignore these things. They only just believe in competing, and in fact, some models also advocate, that men also should get modified to, bear child, and a kind of radical opinions they are having to replace the nature itself. What is the purpose if, nature that is also being done. But, a lot of what nature has gifted, we have to go with it. It's not like, you want to reverse the entire thing. That is what now today is happening to the planet. When you start, mingling or, handling, or you try to manipulate the nature or natural phenomena and universal things, definitely it will backfire us. And today we are seeing what is happening with LGBTQI and same-sex marriages, which, a marriage always happens between a male and female for the purpose of procreation. Now, see, not discriminating or criticizing any particular community as such, but basically we should understand how this marriage has come. And now if male is getting married with a male and female is getting married with female, what is that they are going to do? That procreation is not happening. Maybe they can have a different term. Why use that term as marriage? Because marriage was intended for something. You are again, applying a different connotation to it. Maybe there is nothing wrong. Maybe if you like, you can stay together, live together, have sex together. That is up to you, your personal thing. You want whatever you want to do, you hell with yourself, or it's up to you. But why use these traditional or, which are practices without, this is what happens, when you simply adapt something which is not your own culture and tradition. You don't understand the meaning of a marriage and, basically where this happens, where this is applicable. And you think two people coming together and that is called a marriage. That's not a marriage, two males coming together, and you cannot call that as a marriage. Two females coming together and perform certain activities doesn't make a sense to be a marriage. So, people, unfortunately, especially, with the influence of Western cultures and certain cultures, they are trying to bring in these social evil practices. But if you want to do, see, you should have your own systems. Like if you are bringing this LGBTQI, different systems you want to promote, okay, fine with it, because everyone has that. This is how, I was telling you now, how so many religions, belief systems have come. Like this is also emerged, and so many things will come, because nowadays no one is willing to, as such, trying to, everyone is in a hurry or a race of creating their own identity, no matter at what the cost of is. They are completely deviating from the norm, natural, universal things, and they are going on a crazy thing to create something which doesn't exist in the world, which never existed in the world. And, but okay, that's fine. Go ahead, create. Daily also you create new religion, new belief system, new family system, or new living system. But why spoil existing systems and create a lot of confusion, lot of disrespect, a lot of chaos among the existing systems and spoiling the entire cultures and traditions? Maybe if you have come up with such a system, again, then you need to have a different arrangements. But again, lack of this holistic understanding or lack of going how to go about ahead. People, just like imbibe or take a bit or part of it from everything, and they try to create a combination of all things without understanding the basic principles or underlying science or logic or rationale behind that, and simply just like drag and drop whatever you like a shopping cart, whatever you find, just take it out and apply or whitewash it or color it. This is kind of cultures nowadays we have, without understanding properly and without any logic, without any reason. We are nowadays bringing up these systems, which doesn't make any sense, in fact, when we compare it to earlier traditional systems. Maybe I'm not saying it is wrong or it is right, but if you have come out with a system, then you should have a different connotation or different meaning for that. Why adapting again, going back and saying marriage? Marriage doesn't happen with the same sex. It was never mentioned anywhere in the history of marriage. Then why use the term as marriage again? So this is contradicting. When you don't want to marry with the opposite sex, that is, marriage always happens in a heterosexual, not homosexual, then you need to find some other term where you can go ahead. But again, you are creating a lot of, ambiguity and a lot of confusion in the society, and you are disrespecting the existing. This is what happens, That's why I keep, whenever I keep talking about these new systems, new religions, new belief systems, they always create a lot of havoc, lot of unrest, lot of hatred among existing societies, so that they can promote themselves and they can flourish themselves at the cost of peace, at the cost of global peace. And, they fight for their rights, which never existed in the very first place. They create something hell of out of their own thinking, like they become a devil paradise, and they create a lot of, odd things. And for them, they keep fighting and creating a lot of, unwanted things. And for what? Again, okay, it's fine. If you want to be respected, then you should also respect other things, right? How come that you don't respect, you criticize, you make fun of it, and then you expect that you or your systems will be respected? How foolish is that? When you are criticizing some other system, then other person has also got equal right to criticize you. And if they criticize you, it's like a huge cry for you. And you criticize, then other people, why they will keep, calm? That much small logic you are missing. This is what happens, people are very intolerant, impatient. They want everyone to listen to them, and they don't want to listen to anyone. They want everyone to follow their systems, but they don't want to follow anyone's. This kind of attitude, this kind of personality, this kind of, perspective they hold will always lead to a lot of destruction and disasters. That is what now happening. These are not at all a sustainable models. And today we are seeing, lot of family systems and marriage systems are getting broken up because, of these social evils or modern social evils, what we call. Okay, living together and all these things are coming in. And how long? It is becoming a one-night stand. You sleep with today one person, tomorrow one person, day after tomorrow one person. Now, who is becoming vulnerable here? If you call this as gender equality or gender empowerment or gender, whatever we call, Now, who is going to actually pay for it? Earlier there was a huge cry that men were exploiting women. But now today, in the name of dating, in the name of mating, in the name of rating or whatever we call, in the name of living together, again, boom, if men, you just think over, because that is my thought. I am not making any statements here. Just think that a girl is going and sleeping every day with a new person every night. Now, what is that called again? Now, whether the men are exploiting women or women is making herself more vulnerable or, exploiting herself and making her more vulnerable to this. So you just think over everyone, including males and females. Now, how this transformation has happened? Thanks to Western culture, thanks to media. Now they no longer have that shame, guilt. They transform. The transformation that has come, now it is quite common. But again, what has happened? What has changed? Nothing has changed. Again, at the end of the day, who is the victim? Who is the sufferer? It's again the girls and women. Now, but here, the transformation that took place was earlier, it was forceful. That it is not exactly, but a perspective I am sharing. A perspective that men were exploiting women. But now, women and girls were coming forward now, without any exploitation or without any compulsion, without any force. They themselves are offering for these kind of things. Now, who is getting more vulnerable and who is, getting benefit? Now, just think over. Everyone has to think over, males and females, what is happening, whether this is for a good thing or whether this is for a bad thing that is happening. Equally, both are responsible. So, this kind of influence, this kind of media influence or Western culture influence has made, in fact, women and girls more vulnerable, more susceptible, more, what we call, more closer to abuse, discrimination, and use, exploitation. Can we deny? Maybe if you have an open, feel free to share, because I also want to listen. Many times I have dialogue this when we are talking about, these things. Again, there is, at the end of the day, there is nothing. Because again, same things are happening. But now the trend is women and girls are offering themselves. That is the most saddest part or ugliest part or, the unfortunate part. So I think, girls and women have to be more cautious. Now, when you are offering yourself to every man on every day, every different man on every different day, now what is that happening? Will that contribute in any way to your development or any family development or a community development? No, it is a different form of prostitution. That's why I said in one of the earlier sessions, now even prostitution has to redefine. Maybe, is it why without any consent or without any liking or without any interest that is happening, only that can be called as prostitution? Or if all these things are happening, then this is not called a prostitution. Maybe it has to be redefined. These are the problems, practical problems which are happening. And how do we address, how do we look at? I had many times dialogue with men, but I didn't get any answer for this. Because there is no answer for this, basically. What I feel is, because till now I didn't get any answer. So we have to think actually, that's why we called informed decisions. When we are taking a decision, whether we are completely aware of what we are doing in the very first place, whether it is what kind of purpose it is serving, what kind of aims and objectives or goals or scope it offers. Without that, we simply, making ourselves vulnerable. Uh, is this a wise choice? Or is this a great choice? Maybe don't. I don't think myself it's a wise choice. Or I don't think this is a great decision that is taken. Anyway, it's up to the individuals. But see, here I am not making any statement. I am already telling, I already told you, and I am still sticking to it. This is just a discussion. I'm throwing open my thoughts or my feelings or, maybe my queries to all of you or all of everyone in general public. What is that we are achieving, or what is the benefit of these systems or new emerging systems, except, gratifying our senses or, our wants or desires? Is there any purpose that it is serving? Maybe we have to ponder upon these things. Otherwise, we are destroying ourselves. And without this procreation, that's why I also mentioned earlier also, human beings also are going to soon become extinct because of their own acts. And if the same thing happens, there will be no procreation. Now, if more and more marriages like this happen, men marry only men, women marry only women, there is no procreation. That's all. In coming years, there will be no children at all. And that's how the population will wipe out. And there will be no further generations, future generations. No, you have to adopt somewhere. Or if women, okay, we will take other perspective. Now, why we need, we can, without having sex nowadays, because a lot of IVF centers we have seen, and there is a different perspective as such. Without having a physical intercourse or sexual intercourse, now, females can get pregnant. Because we have now through sperm donation or various other practices, assuming that, okay, male and female, females get married each other, and again they need this sperm, okay, saying that they don't want to have a physical intercourse, find a male donor or sperm donor and get, pregnanted and get become mother. So what is that happening? So what is the purpose that it is solving? You just want to get away from the male counterpart, or you want to get away from the female counterpart, or now with the surrogacy and all those terms, and if, say, we'll also look at that perspective also. Both men get married each other and they adopt, they take or they pursue for surrogacy, and they hire a woman who can, again, give birth to a child, and they adopt also. Now, what is this happening? So how sustainable is this? How natural the relationships will be? How natural these attachment will be? Still, whether can you really accept this when you cannot accept your own family members, your own in-laws? It may be father-in-law, mother-in-law, son-in-law, brother-in-law, sister-in-law. When you are not able to, get along, adjust with these families, how you can get along with such a child, where a child is not born to you, or when you don't take care of certain things, you don't experience certain things. So this is all kind of, how do we understand this in the very first place? It is all the fuzz that is confusion, a lot of disaster that we are creating ourselves. Instead of, there is a very simple system where a man and woman with a proper understanding or with a social cohesion and a social arrangement coming together and creating engaging in procreation, which has social acceptance and social acceptance and legal acceptance coming together and going for a procreation. So they have their own family lineage continuing, and where they have that systematic arrangement of coming together and moving ahead together. And it's all, it's a kind of system that has been coming with our rich ancient culture and tradition. This is what happens, when we don't know the logic and science behind that, and now what people are experimenting. They are reinventing the same wheel again. They will realize that after some time, no, just think, there are three perspectives I have shared now. One is men and men, one is women and women, and other is the old perspective, the commonly accepted, widely accepted, is the perspective of, having men and women together for procreation, which is widely acceptable and socially acceptable, legally accepted. Now we are trying to create more laws that we are legalizing, male to male or female to female marriages and whatnot. But what is the benefit of it? I'm not criticizing anyone, any community, with all due respects to everyone. I see individual as an individual. I respect individual as an individual. But it also comes with the obligations that if I'm respecting you, then you should also respect me. If I respect your feelings or emotions or your decision, it is also on your part, obligation, that you should also respect my feelings, my emotion. It doesn't work like, only your thing is acceptable, or your thing is accepted and my thing is not accepted, or my thing is accepted and your thing is not accepted. If you want to go in a different way, go ahead. No one is stopping you. But you don't have right to criticize. That you should understand. Today, the entire gamut of freedom of speech and expression is different. That is why many people, they think they have right freedom of expression. But remember, you don't have freedom to abuse someone, disrespect someone's feelings or emotions. You don't understand. Freedom of speech and expression is not absolute. Still, there are limitations in freedom of speech and expression. You cannot go and use vulgar words, abuse someone, and say, this is what my freedom of speech and expression is. You cannot go. That is an offense also. So there are limitations for even exercising our freedom of speech and expression. Okay, if you like, dislike, you can have your assent or dissent towards anything. You can express your opinion. Opinions can be expressed, maybe if you don't understand, or if you are unable to understand, or if you need clarification, you can express. Always, that's why we say there is a difference between response and a reaction. You can always respond. Response is always, looking for clarification or trying to understand. But reaction is something which you are criticizing, which you are abusing, which you are totally denying. That should not be there. Like this is a very sensitive topic. Maybe some people may feel offended because definitely both the communities get offended, like both traditional ancient communities where, only male and female for procreation. If these people are talking something, those people will get offended. And when those people are talking something, these people will get offended. And again, this entire gamut of created by whom? Again, with these new systems on, new emerging systems on. Then who are responsible for all this chaos and, uh, this confusion? Again, that's what I say, how these new belief systems or religions which are created are creating a lot of unrest, violence, hatred, disturbance, and at times law and order problem and whatnot. So that's why we need to understand when we are adopting new system, when we are creating a new system, what kind of impact it is creating. Just because you wanted something different and you want an entire system, okay, fine. At your level, you want something, go ahead, stay. But if you want to generalize the entire population into that system, if you want to convert entire population into that system, that will create a disaster. That is what's happening today. One religion wants to convert entire population into their religion, or one belief system is trying to convert every other population into their belief system. And now, even with these LGBTQI systems, like they want to, if they want to, convert entire population into their systems, what is going to happen? It's okay. You have a system, you go ahead with it. Whoever is comfortable, they will come. Whoever is not comfortable, they will go with their own system, or maybe more such systems will come, emerge. But we should not be in a very aggressive manner, abusive manner, that like misusing the freedom of speech and expression, misusing the rights without understanding our fundamental duties. We want always our rights. We talk about our rights, but what about our duties? We don't perform our duties, but we always talk about our rights. But at the same time, when you have rights, you have also duties. When you have right to abuse, again, you are under the obligation of getting abused. Right? Because in the very first place, abusing itself is reprobated or is not accepted. Then when you are engaging such thing, then definitely you are under obligation. It's not like that you go on abusing everyone, criticizing everyone, and no one wants to, you will not allow anyone to talk about you. What kind of system, or what kind of a communication system is this? How do we understand this? So when we see this in general, they are the narcissistic psycho people or sadistic people, it connotes a different meaning. So that's why to overcome, they create a lot of, agitation, a lot of drama, hangama everywhere. Offline, online, something, they just go on an aggressive thing. So this is what happens, create a lot of unrest, lot of confusion, lot of chaos in the society. So these all are there, which we have to see. You think yourself, you ponder yourself. I am not making any statement. I am again clarifying myself and everyone. These are the queries I have. These are the questions I have. Maybe you also might be having now. So how do we answer? How do we respond to them? How do we understand these things? Whether these are for benefit of society or individuals, or whether it is going to create more confusion, whether it is going to create more issues or challenges. That is what we need to ponder upon and retrospect or introspect. Okay, it doesn't matter, because if we think generally, whatever happens, what it has to do with me or my community, my society or my nation. Okay, let them go do whatever they want. It doesn't matter. We all are going with that kind of, okay, let them go, let them stay together, let them have breakup, whatever, go hell with them. Whatever they want, they will do. Whether we like, we'll follow them. Whether we don't like, we will create our own system and go ahead. We have nothing to do. This is kind of attitude. It's fine. Then you should also accept that. But again, you say that only your system is perfect or your system should be accepted and your system is only, have to be ahead. Again, the problem comes here. You need to first, because there is an already existing system, you cannot dishonor the existing system because you have created something new system and you want to promote that. You should respect and the existing system. You have to be tolerant, you have to be patient towards that system. And you can have, but nowadays things are not so. Everyone wants to promote their own system, even at the cost of peace, global peace, and creating a lot of issues, challenges. So all these are very important aspects when we try to understand this gender equality or gender empowerment or gender discrimination, gender abuse, whatnot, because it applies to both genders. Or nowadays, even third gender, fourth gender, fifth gender, what all we have, which are emerging now, for those also. Anyway, this is an unending debate. We all have to think ourselves. Maybe coming days it will answer. Time has solution for everything. It doesn't mean time will give automatically, but we think, we learn from our mistakes. What we have done, we have created so many disasters. Nowadays, all are human disasters, no natural disaster. So this will be also, whether this will be a disaster, if not a disaster, how it is going to contribute. We'll see in coming days. And if it is going to be same, like procreation is what is more important. Now, without a procreation, how these generations are going to continue? That is a big question. Now, how do we answer? How do we look at it? And if we are procreating without having a proper system, proper mechanism, then what kind of society we are creating? We'll create a society where we do not have cohesion, where we do not have close ties, where we are not related each other biologically. So there are no, close intimacy or close relationships, close ties within the society, within the families. Like, family will be adopting someone, some other child. And even for that also, if there is no procreation, where you will get children to adopt? Someone has to procreate. Again, to go for adoption, you need to have some children. Again, how do you get the children? Again, you need a male or you need to sperm. Otherwise, okay, you can go ahead, use the technology, modern technology for destructive purpose. Like maybe you can create an artificial sperm in the laboratory and you can start procreating yourself. Like many species do, like turtles and many certain turtles do. And certain species, they procreate themselves. There is without male counterpart, they can do because, nature has gifted them because there is a very less probability or, because of their extinction or lack of so much huge population. It has created in such a way. So maybe, is that what we are trying to do? Maybe don't know. These all have to be answered or left unanswered. And the time will decide, because maybe tomorrow we will see a day where no marriages happen, no heterosexual marriages happen. This is all homosexual marriages. And what is going to be? Maybe this is also one of the strategy or to, stop populating, so that we can promote these same-sex marriages. Automatically, there will be no children. And, we can control the population. Maybe this is a population control strategy that is being propagandized, widely populated, promoted. It can be one perspective also. Yeah, in that case, we are promoting to control population. Maybe, see, these are different perspectives. That's what I'm saying. And it may be for any purpose, but we don't know. Maybe in coming days, it will reveal itself. Till that, we are still ambiguous. We are cautious about all these practices, not disrespecting anyone. And does not mean that you disrespect any existing systems. If you want to be respected, then keep in mind you have to respect others also, which are already in place. You cannot disrespect someone and expect you to be respected. That's why I always keep telling in the platform also, when we get opportunity, when we are being offered a platform, or when we are giving respect, inviting you, or when you are also coming, or when I am also inviting, that respect has to be there. We need to respect each other. We need to value each other. We need to contribute each other. Similar way, it is not just on this platform, because we are on the platform. I'm taking this example. Maybe in our homes also, we should respect each other. Maybe what kind of relationship it may be. It may be father and mother, or it may be father and son, or father and daughter, or mother and son, mother or daughter, or wife and husband. Like all these, and many other relationships, we need to respect each other. Respect, even as without relationship also, as an individual to individual, we need to respect each other, respect our beliefs, respect our attitudes. But it's, when we are coming together for a purpose or a common goal, especially in a system like family, we have some common goals to be achieved. That's why we get along with each other for achieving that common goal. Like we want to have our own home. What we'll do? We'll all come together. We'll all work towards that goal. We will, have a common expenditure, common budget, and common savings, common income. We all put together, and we gather some resources. We buy, certain properties or certain things, interiors or exteriors, which are required. Even our daily food, groceries, staples, everything. That there is a common goal to be achieved, a status that our family should be well recognized by the society, well positioned in the society. So that's how we are coming together, respecting each other, moving together. And when we talk about gratitude, that is most important. We keep lecturing from morning to evening about gratitude, and we ourselves do not express gratitude. Gratitude to the existing systems, gratitude to the existing, setup that is there or prevalent. We don't express gratitude because without them, you in the very first place, if your father and mother hasn't come together, where you will, you couldn't have been there, or I couldn't have been here in the very first place, right? So we need to understand, we need to accept that in the very first place, and we need to express our gratitude to that, our parents, those who have come together. Because of that, today we exist. Similarly, it's not that criticizing our own systems, our own traditions and cultures. If you want to create something new, okay, go ahead. Who is stopping you? But not at the cost of, today we have seen a lot of, especially many libraries were burnt and many literature was burnt to create only. Nowadays, yesterday also I quoted, a lot of pandemic of publications are happening. What we are doing basically, we are publishing a lot of research worth trash. We are doing a lot of publications which are worth trash. So all these, pseudo science, all these pseudo beliefs, or these new systems we are trying to document. We conduct a lot of research on this, half knowledge systems and these unscientific or unsustainable things. And again, after some time, we talk about sustainable development. Today, we are talking about sustainable development, but with the practices earlier taken, and that was no longer sustainable. And today, entire planet has become threat. And today we are, global warming and greenhouse gases. No longer the climate is same. Many species are getting extinct, endangered. Because earlier, all practices, all science and technological developments were highly abusive, highly discriminative towards nature, environment. And today we are paying for that. And see, pollution, everything got polluted on the planet. There is nothing. Air is polluted, soil is polluted. What is that one thing you can say? Even human beings are polluted, relationships are polluted. Now even marriage system got polluted. So this is what, without a proper understanding of logic, a reason, rationale behind, we simply go on changing, that will only lead to disaster. And tomorrow, that's why when I think all these things, when I ponder upon all these things, I think human beings also going to soon become extinct without no procreation. Definitely that is going to happen soon. Because of these things, we need to, when we are also supporting blindly, when someone get the notion, you also blindly support, share in social media. It is nowadays a trend. We are becoming more like these sheep and goats following the herd, but lacking our own sense of wisdom or intellectual. You need to think over when we are supporting some cause or whether it's really going to be sustainable, what kind of benefit it is going to give to an individual, to a society, to a community or nation or on a planet at large. What existing system has to offer and what the new system has to offer. If you think over it, only we are giving to the present emotions and feelings, and we are ignoring the entire side of this development. That's why we are creating more and disasters, diseases, disorders, and broken systems. This itself will put entire population at stake with no procreation, no ethics, no values, no morals, no family systems at all. So all these are very important. We cannot understand all these things in an isolated way, in a very secluded way. We need to have a holistic approach. We can't say that, okay, what will happen? No, it has a huge impact. Maybe not immediately, but over a period of time, over a long period of time, it is going to have a huge impact. All these things are very essential. And yes, so these are various aspects in gender equality or gender empowerment and with these systems also, gender systems. Why we are talking about is of having this male, female, and third gender, fourth gender, fifth gender, whatnot. All these. So these are certain challenges we have. And how do we try to address these challenges? What kind of contribution it is going to make? So all these things we will see in coming days. Maybe we'll be able to address. And apart from this, we will move on to our commemoration. Today is also Project Management Day, Smart Home Day, and many more. So today is also Jellyfish Day. So with this, we shall conclude this. I know these are certain things which we may not get easy answers, but at least when we take decision, we all need to be very careful on how we are adopting and what we are adopting and how it is going to take us forward. So anyway, it's up to everyone to ponder and come up with it. So we already have exceeded time. So I apologize for that additional time which has been taken today. But I feel, at least with this today's discussion, maybe we will have some good productive way ahead. Thank you everyone for joining. I'm sharing a feedback form for session 2 for these commemorations. So feel free. If you have any queries, you can unmute yourself and ask while you are filling up the feedback form. If there are no queries, then you can fill up the feedback form and we shall leave for the day and see you all tomorrow at the same time, 6 o'clock, with a different topic. Take care. Good night. Make sure before you leave, fill up the feedback.